My guidance for packing has been, if it doesn't fit in the 4Runner, you're bringing too much. And that's worked great for a solo camper doing 1 to 2 day trips. But now there are 2 new factors. One, as I am starting to venture into some more out-of-the-way sites, it's important that I carry some tools and recovery gear. 2, I have a week-long adventure on my agenda, and that means more stuff. Now that I have a roof rack, a rooftop cargo box is an option. I looked at the big name overlanding boxes, and I just decided that they were overkill for me. Too big, too expensive. So I took a look at rifle boxes. They are also sturdy, waterproof, and lockable, but more low profile and less expensive. These are all things I need to consider considering we have a small garage. I'd like better gas mileage, and honestly, it's a little less obnoxious than those big ones. The Apache rifle case runs about $150, but as with all Harbor Freight items, wait for that sale. I got mine for about $130, but I've seen them as low as $120. It's about 6 inches tall and a little under that on the interior. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but you would be surprised at what all you can fit in there. If you know me at all, you know I can't just leave well enough alone. This thing is going to need some mods. The first item I'm going to need to address is this floppy lid. I considered using cabinet door lifters, but the lid is very light and it would mean drilling more holes, which means less waterproofing. Instead, I settled on some simple cable limiters. I may regret it on a windy day, but we'll see. I can always upgrade. Side's all right. Got stainless kind of hex head things on there. I managed to find some black nuts to go on the inside. But this side's where it's at. I have black versions of the same, and I have a little O-rings for both. And black nuts. They are a little long, but I do still want to put an O-ring in here, so maybe that's fine. When I head over to Ace, I'll get some like these to replace those guys. I also had the idea to light up the interior so that you can easily find what you need at night. I got a pair of under cabinet lights with motion sensors. They have magnetic mounts, but they felt pretty weak. The adhesive for the metal mounting plates seemed pretty flimsy too. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna work. I could just imagine going down a bumpy road and these are totally gonna rattle off. So I had the idea to use Velcro. This edge, go all the way to this bumper. Because then I could always just rip one off and use it on the ceiling of the 4Runner in case I needed another light in there. Stick, 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 sticks. Hey. Woo-hoo. It's got a few different modes. There's on, there's motion sensor when it's dark, like nightlight mode, which is probably what I'm going to use, and then motion sensor day or night. It's not really sticking to this side. Unfortunately, I did not account for the curve of the lid when I was measuring its depth. So there's incomplete contact because the light is now at an angle. Sweet. I'll put that there. Okay. Well, we'll see how it does with the heat. All right, smooth. Next up, a visit to my favorite place to grab some mounting hardware. at the hardware in these, put little acorn nuts on the inside. They're in black. There's one up here, and then the other one is under the lip. And they're little hex, sort of button head bolts, much more subtle. And I put some O-rings behind them too. I had also ordered these bars thinking that they might help with the alignment. However, the holes were a bit too small, so they had to be modified. Now for the hard part. Figuring out where to drill the holes into the bottom of the case. It is 103 and 26% humidity, so I had to go put my phone in the fridge for a while, but this is what you missed in the meantime. I took my spare rail that I had and I laid it down and made sure it was square on there. And but really the only thing that matters is that the distance between the slots is the same. And I took my measuring tape and got up and looked at the rack and put my measuring tape in the slots that I'm using, which are going to be the outer one on here and the outer one on here. And I figured they are 32 inches apart. And then laterally, we have a template to make sure they're spaced evenly, as long as I lay these in the same spot on both. Also, since I had that other rail out here, I just went ahead and put it on the rack. It seems like a good place to store it as any. So now I have an extra rail right there. $31. $1 and 32. It's actually just 31. Okay. Still center. Did we get moved? We got moved. Feeling like you're moving. Hopefully, after all this, we're in alignment. These are way off. What the hell? Actually, they're not that far apart. All right, I had to put the phone back in the fridge because it got too hot, so I'm out here with the GoPro, and here's an update. So I had to kind of shift these over to the left just a hair, and then the rear ones I just went up one bit size just to give myself a little more play. And for your own sanity, highly recommend. To finish these off, I have these neoprene washers. I was thinking about putting the spare flat bar on here too. I'm just not sure there's going to be enough room. And then I've got wing nuts to finish them off. I don't know how I feel about the wing nuts. I like the idea of taking the box off easily, but they do stick up. I'm under this impression that I'm going to take this box off like between trips, but honestly, I'm probably going to keep it on here for months at a time. So really, I think I could just put some nuts on here, regular nuts on here, and save myself about a ½ inch of clearance. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. Alrighty, the heat is making this adhesive want to give up. It's still hanging on, barely. thought. Squishing out that neoprene now. That's what we want. Success. Great. I just ended up removing the loop side entirely because it was just bunching up and getting in the way. I left the hook side on, so like I said, I could still take it off and use it on the ceiling of the 4Runner if I wanted to, but it's also acting as just a little bit of extra friction to hopefully keep it from falling out. But yeah, let's see. Yeah. There we go. Let's see, did I turn it on? That's green, that's for motion at night. And then you can also adjust the brightness, I think. Let's see, let's put it back on. That's low, medium, high. Let's keep it on high. And only turn on when it's dark. And seems pretty secure, like it's going to resist some bumping down the road. So we'll see how this version goes. So the brackets do overhang the lid just a touch, but it doesn't interfere with anything. And of course I have these silver rivets now showing. And also I am a little concerned about waterproofness, but I think at most maybe a weep. They do make black rivets, but they just weren't available at my local Ace Hardware. I didn't go to the nice, I didn't go to the good Ace. I went to the other Ace. Contents will probably change every trip, but this is what I have in this time. Tools, tow strap, tarp, tarp poles, shade, rain shelter, hammock,